Hey ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tough Tony, also known as Tough Tony Ant. I remember it, so you don't have to. Well, I was looking at a lot of Nostalgia Critic today, so yeah. I was, looking through, my basic TV tracks, videos, and all sorts of wrestling related topics on YouTube earlier. And I found maybe about 3 or 4 videos talking about, Randy Orton's suspension and rumors of maybe him going to TNA and all sorts of stuff like that. So, of course, Randy Orton has been his second suspension in the WWE. I'm not sure if it was probably substance abuse. I really don't watch SmackDown all like that. And, of course, when Randy Orton's on camera, I usually change the channel. But they have the 3 strikes you're out rule in the WWE. Now, apparently, Randy Orton is upset with talent relations because he wants some time off. They won't honor it. But if you want to be a main eventer, you got to work the schedule. But everyone knows that I'm not a huge fan of Randy Orton. I think Randy Orton is a stiff wrestler. I think he wrestles like he has two left feet. I think he's boring. I think he has no charisma. He has a horrible gimmick. But he's a better in-ring professional than John Cena. But that's not saying much, as all you gotta do is a headlock, snapmare takeover, maybe a hip toss, and a leg lace takedown, and you'll be a better wrestler than John Cena. So that's not saying much. But sorry about that. I'm a little stuffy today, so I've been drinking a lot of fluids. Don't worry, it's not alcohol. I don't want to get busted for substance abuse. But anyway, so, all over the place, people are all jumping all over the place, thinking about the whole, what is the possibility if he goes back to WWE and he screws up and they let him out of his contract and he shows up in TNA. Well, of course, I'm just as much a fan of TNA as I am a fan of Randy Orton. So that's really slim to none. But it's the whole. Remember when, I don't know what DVD it was. I don't know if it was a Horseman DVD or one of those DVDs when they was talking about Jim Herd and WCW. Maybe the downfall of WCW, when someone said that Jim Herd could have been in charge of WCW and got Hogan the next day and wouldn't have been able to do nothing with him. It'd be the same thing with going to TNA. Sure, TNA will have finally a big name person, but like always, is another guy from the WWE. Unlike WWE and New Japan Pro Wrestling, every other wrestling promotion in the world I wouldn't say dire financial turmoil, but they are in financial turmoil, and they're really struggling to make ends meet off the simple fact of how WWE has pretty much destroyed the wrestling business by destroying ignorant fans' perception of wrestling to this fucking frou-frou, sissified, over-the-top, theatrical, pyrotechnic-filled, horrible pop music-filled shit that they call the WWE. So that's why you get a wrestling promoter out there that wants to promote actual competition in the ring, actual athleticism, people say is stupid. Thank you, WWE, for ruining the fucking wrestling business. Because outside of WWE and New Japan, you got TNA, Ring of Honor, Shikara Pro, Full Impact Pro, and all those other ones. Dragon Gate and all that. But it's like, TNA has never been a time in TNA where money wasn't an issue. It's been like that since they started. It's been like that since Ring of Honor started. But these two promotions still managed to keep their heads above water. I don't understand how, but if Randy Orton was to go to TNA, I will say right now, the only thing it'll do is maybe help their ratings for maybe the first couple weeks. You're adding on another multi-million-dollar. Well, Orton, I don't know if they can afford Randy Orton, because, Kurt Angle was probably the only, Hogan and Angle are probably the only people working there that's close to $1 million contract. Hogan's probably got $1 million contract. But Orton comes there, they're going to have another guy who's you know, a bad attitude. Because Randy Orton is a crybaby. He whines when he doesn't get his way. That's why he fucking screwed over Christian and all sorts of shit like that. But Randy Orton is very political. And Randy Orton, anywhere else but TNA. Because you figure, look at who runs TNA. Look at what they do with all the talent in fucking TNA. They play favorites. They do terrible fucking booking. I don't even know if... But you paying more for Orton, which means the other guys have to take another pay cut, because Lord knows TNA's been bailed out more times than General Motors or Chrysler. And what makes it so bad is that all the money TNA does make is not really coming from the fan base. It's coming from their investors. Because Lord knows they really don't do any merchandising sales. No one buys the pay-per-view. No one barely watches the show. So it's like, you know, it doesn't matter who goes to TNA. TNA can get half of WWE's roster tomorrow, and it won't make a damn bit of difference. Because of the people running it, because of the people promoting talent and trying to make or push talent, it won't even matter. TNA, Randy Orton in TNA, you figure, Randy Orton in WWE is one of the top wrestlers in the world. Randy Orton in TNA will be just as relevant as Christopher Daniels. Or hell, he'll be just as relevant as fucking Eric Young. I know I hate to say it, but yeah, that's how relevant it'd be. Fucking irrelevant. But I mean, if they would sign him, I mean, sure, it'd be good that TNA finally spent money on someone who can actually give them 10 years if they decide to go career, instead of hiring 40-year-old guys who couldn't give you 2 years, and they still got these motherfuckers still on the fucking contract. So, like I said, then, you know, this is really, I'm just talking to the wrestling marks here, or TNA marks, and we know I hate them, or all marks of wrestling, personally, but it's not going to make one bit of difference. It's not going to be, you know, Randy Orton shows up in TNA, a light switch turns on, and they getting 3.0 ratings and 4.0 ratings and 100 and 200,000 pay-per-view buys per pay-per-view. It's not going to be anything like that. It's not going to be anything like that at all, because it is fucking crew expendable. WWE can lose anybody tomorrow and it won't make one bit of difference. They could lose Randy Orton and CM Punk tomorrow. It's not going to make a damn bit of difference in the WWE. As we all know, wrestling is a revolving door. Sure, it will help ratings-wise, but come on. All the egos they have in TNA, Orton to be, like The Rock said, Orton to be a well in a fucking teardrop. So, I mean, Orton has more star power than everybody in TNA combined. And that goes for Hulk Hogan as well. And it also goes for Sting. Because fuck Kurt, he hasn't drew money in years. Anderson never drew a fucking dime. All Jeff Hardy does is this and that from time to time. So what the fuck has he done in TNA since he been there? So it's like, it really wouldn't matter. It really wouldn't matter. Sure, I think Orton will work very well with certain talent, but that has to be main event stuff. You know, you can't have, you know, Randy Orton go up against an AJ Styles or Christopher Daniels or a Kazarian, and then have Robert Roode go up against 50-year-old Bully Ray. You know, well, I know Bully Ray's not 50. It just seems like it. You know, it's fucking stupid. So, everybody, untwist your panties, untwist your boxer briefs. Is number one, this instance is probably never going to happen, and even if it did, it's not going to mean a damn thing. So, and it's not going to make TNA the number one company in the world. Because TNA has never been close to number one. It's big, it's number two in as far as girth and build, but come on. TNA could take John Cena, Randy Orton, Daniel Bryan, and CM Punk tomorrow and still won't be able to do anything with them. Just like they do. I would rather them take a talent and make them into a new star. Somebody outside of the WWE system. TNA needs more than anything their own fucking identity. Now it's just a place where guys who are fed up that never get pushed into WWE go to TNA, have 2 major league matches, and then they're relegated to mid-card or opening match. The guys they leave WWE for pension checks, or because they're too girly because they don't want to work the huge schedule, but yet they want to remain a huge star. You know, so that's where WWE, oh, you figure TNA is where wrestlers go to die. Basically. Like, I'm not, and especially everyone knows, I haven't watched an episode of Impact and Lord knows how long I'm not about to. And Randy Orton going there would actually make me stir farther away from Impact because I don't even like Randy Orton where he is now. So that's really not going to make any big deal with me. But in that, well, Hogan and Dixie and all these other fucking idiots and Bruce Pritchard up there, it's not going to make, it's nothing. It's just going to be nothing. It's just going to be another person that TNA can't afford that's going to fuck them up even more so. I would love, I was hoping, like I said in most videos, I was wishing that TNA could actually make it over that hurdle, but alas, they never will. It's just a matter of time now. Pretty soon, that's all we're going to be stuck with is the fucking WWE. This is tough. I'm signing off. Have a nice day. God bless, and happy 4th of July, even though we have like another 12 more hours before then. So, have a nice day.